the cuff, yeah. Off the cuff, yeah. It's off the cuff, 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 yeah. It's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, yeah.
This is God ordained, get in position, cause we on a mission, fulfilling this vision, releasing contention, in this God we praise. The one who keeps us from falling, receiving this faultless. Who that man is awesome. You see us every day, we celebrate. Right now it's time for us to elevate. So get your hands up, cause Hosanna is great. And see they call it off the cuff because we tailor-made.
Off the cuff, yeah. Off the cuff, yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Off the Cuff.
I'm growing this shit.
Also known as OTC University. Let me welcome those of you that are listening to the show for the first time. I am Bobby, and the crew is in the house with me. Say what's up to the folks, Eric.
What's up, y'all?
You two, little Chad.
Right.
How's everybody doing?
Say it with your chest. All right, man. Hit him with that current event, Chad.
All right, what we want to talk about today, just to let everybody know, it's election time. It's coming up.
Yes.
Some of you all are getting, like we were just talking about a few moments ago, a lot of people getting complacent.
Yeah.
Don't buy into the polls.
Don't.
And things of that nature that make it look like, Obama's going to win by a landslide.
Right.
That's a ploy. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
You got to go and make sure that you're registered to vote.
That's right.
Okay, and you got to make sure you're registered to vote at least 21 days before November 4th. We said that on a few other shows, but make sure you're registered 21 days prior to Election Day.
Yes.
Okay, registered by October 16th online by 9 p.m. That's the deadline. October 16th at 9 p.m. is the online deadline.
Right.
And understand that you're going to get your ID straight. You're going to need proper ID, Maryland ID cards, driver's license, passports, military ID, student ID, whatever it is, or whatever state you in, because we're not just talking to people that's in Maryland.
Right.
This is a collective thing for everybody all across. And if you're abroad, because we got some people that's listening abroad, don't forget to send that absentee ballot in. Don't wait till the last minute to do that.
Right.
Okay. Early voting starts Saturday, October 27th.
Saturday the 27th.
Through Thursday, November 1st, 2012.
Yes.
Early voting times are actually 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 6 p.m. on Sundays. So you can go to the Maryland State Elections website to locate voting centers in your county.
Please.
Again, go to the Maryland State Elections website to locate the voting centers in your county. This is important. You don't want to get caught on that day trying to figure out where you're at or going to the wrong polling place. They will not let you vote if you're at the wrong polling place and your name's not on the list.
For real.
Don't think, this is in my neighborhood, it's closest to me. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And we need your vote. All right? Make your vote count. Or don't start crying after the fact.
Right.
And for some of y'all that's worried, I can't get off work, your employers actually have to give you time to vote. If you don't have time to take off to vote, your employer still has to pay you for up to 2 hours so you can vote.
Yeah, 2 hours, not half a day.
Right, 2 hours.
Not half a day. You know how black folks is.
Right.
There's a lot of traffic out. I couldn't get
so they had to vote, taking a break. Yeah. So you take your break, don't break.
Right.
Actually go back to work.
Right.
Don't ruin it.
Right, for
everybody. You just going to get your vote in, and you ain't got to, announce it to everybody or whatever. Just go do your thing and come back.
Yeah.
All right. Now you can make sure you're registered and check your polling location online at voterservices.elections.state.maryland.us/voter search. That's a lot, right? I'm gonna say it again real slow.
Again, man.
voterservices.elections.state.md.us/voter search.
Is that a /?
Whatever. if it don't work on the first one, change it up.
You got it right.
I'll go to canivote.org or something.
Yeah,
that works too. That's easy. You can remember that one, can't you?
Yeah. One of the things I was listening to on the news today, and there was actually someone was talking about Democrats tend to take advantage of early voting. And because Democrats take advantage of early voting, it's easy to tell early on who's going to win the state. So what the dude was saying, he said, one thing about black people, once we think we going to win any kind of race, we start jogging when we get toward the end. He said, and he don't want black people to start jogging in this presidential race toward the end.
That's right.
The black, now what's going to happen is, brother jogging, white dude going to squeak right on by you. Right?
Because Hussein Bolt can lose.
Yeah, he can lose. All right? So definitely do not allow that to happen. All right, we good?
We're good.
All right,
just wanted to get that out.
Last week we jumped on that Parenting the Lost Art Part 1. Today we're going to jump on it Part 2.
Come on.
Part 2. Now, we appreciate all the blogs that came out about this issue. But one of the things that I really wanted to touch on was a heartfelt blog about bullying. And they talked about how Chad's story was so inspiring to our fans.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to understand that when we talk about parenting being a lost art, we want you to try to work harder at observing your children.
Right.
Work harder at observing your children. I mean, you got to go as far as have your child send you a picture of them when they go to school. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Because children change clothes when they leave the house. I didn't realize that until the other day.
Buddy.
I saw a female walk to the bus stop. She had on jeans. She had on a nice blouse, right? So later on in the day, my son says to me, Dad, can you bring my phone up here? I left it at the house. I said, sure, I'll bring your phone up to you. I walk up into school, and guess what I ran across? That same girl. She had on these what they call those pants that ain't really pants. It's
What are those?
They're like
Pants that ain't pants.
No, they look like pants, but they're not really pants. Leggings.
Stockings?
Leggings. No.
Shorts.
Now, when I told you when she left, she had on jeans. When I saw her at school, she had on leggings.
Wow.
Leggings with a shirt that was halfway.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So nobody could focus that day on her.
And they just let her went to school?
Well, at her school, they did. Had a little shirt hanging down a little bit, but I know that wasn't what she had on when she left school.
Right.
Left to go to that school bus. So all I'm saying is, parents, you got to pay attention.
Pay attention.
We got to do the extra mile.
Check that book
You
bag.
know, check the book bag. Yeah.
That huge purse.
Yeah. How you got a backpack big enough that they can't carry, but then they only got like 4 classes? I mean, come on, they're not doing that much studying.
And getting C's and D's.
Getting C's and D's.
They're obviously not books in that bag.
Yeah. And so last week we got into some of the traits of being an askable parent.
Right.
We talked about showing respect, right? Showing love and respect to your children.
Yeah.
Everything's not, I think Chad mentioned, everything's not a crisis.
Right.
You know, and I think that is really critical for black folks. Because sometimes everything becomes a crisis for us. I know I'm guilty of that. You know how sometimes my son can be really getting on my nerves? And then everything he says to me is a crisis.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So then he can tell me something that is pretty easy and I should be able to get through. It becomes a crisis for me. And then my son give me that look like, Dad, why are you kirking? Now, what is kirking?
Kirking.
What is kirking?
Going crazy.
Yeah,
It's going crazy.
It's snapped off.
Okay,
Yeah.
snapped off. Okay.
You know.
You done beamed up.
Because I almost got an attitude because he said I was kirking.
Yeah.
I almost went to the next level.
Yeah.
You know?
Captain Kirk.
Okay, Captain Kirk. Okay, I got you. So everything's not a crisis.
Captain Killer
You know, and we also talked about Captain what?
Go ahead.
We also talked about, don't always take your child off by themselves in the beatdown room to talk to them about their situation.
Right.
Because then they don't open up with you very much at all. And then we talked also a little bit about when you talk about your mistakes, don't always say things like back when I was growing up. Because that's an automatic, I'm not listening to you now because you're 50 years old. And back when you was growing up, y'all went to school uphill in the snow with one shoe on.
Right.
Right.
That's
Feet bleeding.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the story.
You know, that's
Nothing
always
to
the
eat.
story. Yeah, that's always the story. So let's move forward. We're gonna get a little forward, a little bit deeper into this being a askable parent about sex.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk a little bit about sex. Now, I got some stuff to read here. The American Social Health Association believes if you talk to your child openly about sex, it can delay sexual activity and avert big problems.
Right. Because talking about sex, or your child's sexuality does not encourage them to have sex. That's what you need to understand.
Right.
Talking about sex
Yeah.
or your child's sexuality is not encouraging your child to have sex.
All right, stop for a minute. I have heard that over and over again.
Right.
Parents are afraid to talk to their children about sex because they're scared that they're going to open the
Yeah.
Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Like the child has never heard about sex.
That's
Right.
true. I had a session one time where I was teaching young people, and this young lady, then she was 13 years old, okay? And in the session, we had a little bit older students in there also, but it was an open session to talk about anything, but we were talking about masturbation, okay? She didn't know what masturbation was. She had no idea because her parents had never even talked to her about it, never even mentioned it to it. So after the session, she went back and talked to her parents about it. Of course, the parents came like, well, I wasn't ready for her to have that conversation. I'm like, she's 13 years old. When was you going to talk to her about it?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You was going to wait that long?
Yeah.
They just like they're waiting too long, or they're scared to talk to them about it, thinking that something's going to jump off on them, and all of a sudden they're going to start having sex with everybody because you're talking to them about it.
So you was talking to her daughter about masturbation?
It was a bunch of them, Bobby.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was a group. You didn't hear at the beginning of my conversation when I said it was
I
a-
ain't hear it. I'm thinking you need counseling.
Okay,
You better
they heard it. They heard it.
Church
Who was
up.
they?
It was a group of young people. It was
Okay.
about 20 of them in the
group,
room.
okay.
And we were discussing crack baby. You're a crack baby. You know that.
I'm just saying.
Why do you call you a crack baby?
I don't understand. So you was talking to the daughters. I was
was talking to the students.
students.
And the young lady was in the class. She had
Right.
never heard of it before.
She never heard of masturbation.
Nah, she never
So
heard
you
of it.
had a one-on-one with her.
I had no. Did I say I had a one-on-one?
Hey, he trying to draw you in. He's trying to draw you in.
Did I say I had a
Was
one-on-one?
there any men you was talking about?
It was a mixed class. It was
All right,
guys
gotcha,
and girls in the
gotcha.
class.
All right, good.
all
But you
That's
know,
good. You got to talk to him.
Gotta
We
talk
can't
to
be
him.
uncomfortable. Addressing the issues that they already are going to be confronted with on a daily basis anyway.
Right.
And if nothing else, as a parent,
But
just
let me
think
ask
about
you a
what
question.
you heard about.
But let me ask you a
That's
question.
right.
I know this is tough. We're going to just keep it here, right? This is,
keep it
it's
here.
just
It's
us,
not just
it's
here,
just us
Bobby.
three
There's a
of
lot
us.
of people
It's just
listening.
us three of us talking.
But it's a lot of people listening.
Well, it's just the three of us right here talking.
No, it's not.
In the
Bobby.
studio, just us.
Bobby.
All right.
Bobby.
Yes.
It's not just us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I just-
Because when I had this conversation with my son about masturbation, he asked me straight up, is it right or wrong? And, I had to say,
Woo!
man.
That's deep.
I told him, get out, go to your room.
So you were uncomfortable with that
I was
question.
very uncomfortable because I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kick him out, right? And then I had to bring the wife in, and we had to have this little sidebar conversation about, and so then I had to get beat up because why is he talking about something like that? That's just nasty. And I'm like, well, so the issue becomes, folks ain't going to hell for masturbation.
Right.
I mean, Eric, you're looking at me funny.
No, I'm just looking at you. I'm listening.
All right.
And actually, there's studies out there that actually say that a male really should do that several times a week in order to maintain a prostate. Healthy prostate.
Yeah.
My thing is, when you're little, when you're coming up, you're going to explore your body. Yeah. Especially, when you get in the age and your body starts changing, you're going to explore it. So I understand it because boys do it. If it's a young man who say, I never did that, come on, please. All right, and boys and girls do it. All right, it happens. When you get at a certain age, you're like a grown man.
Yes.
Big
bro goat. Anyway,
Eric was exploring. Old Prince looking like.
I'm like.
But what I did tell my son, it's cool. I told him it's cool. And I said, All the little tales that we used to be told when I was a kid, they are not true. You know, I told him that it's cool. I said, but understand something. Anything you do that involves any kind of lust, any kind of emotion, it can be over the deep end.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right,
I told
right.
him, I said, you know, I understand you got to relieve yourself because there are some times when you wake up in the morning and things don't go the way you think they're going to go. You trying to figure out why I can't zip up these pants.
That's called the morning wood.
Yeah, you know. So you got to get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? So I told him very quickly, don't be walking from your room to the bathroom, you know, with business in the street. Because I got your mama in the house. And she knows enough about you that she wants to know right now.
Right.
So he was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Now, admittedly, I've never had a conversation with my daughter. I have never, ever had a conversation. Now, someone might ask why. Well, in my house, my wife is the primary teacher of those female functions.
Okay.
I don't really get into that.
Right.
It ain't because I don't want my daughter to be embarrassed
Right.
by that kind of conversation. But that's my house.
Right.
But in other folks' house, they like to sit down, daddy and mom, and talk. That's on y'all.
Right.
But in my house, I wouldn't. My daughter's not gonna talk in front of me about masturbation.
Right.
Now she might talk to me about, Dad, at college they gave me these 4 condoms,
Right.
you know, and I couldn't believe they was handing out blue, yellow, and red condoms. What's up with that? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I kind of understand that, but she wasn't really going deep into it with her.
Right.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So
Understand
Yo, to let y'all know, we are taking calls. All right, you can call 240-949-2833. All right, 240-949-CUFF. Which is 2833. So you can get a call in with your question. You may have something about this subject. Just call in and holler at us about it.
yeah,
All right?
yeah.
That's fun. In fact, you know, studies show that when a child is close to the parent and has good communication with that parent, you know, that they're less likely to have sex early.
That's
Yeah, that's
right.
true. That
That's
is
true.
very
You
true.
know, and that's
Yeah.
key. So,
Very
you
true.
know, your communication level and your openness with that child
Yes.
can help, you know, deter them from actually engaging in sex at an early age anyway.
And also, when you engage in conversation early, it opens the door for them to readdress the issue later. You know what I mean? Most of the time, we don't, you know, my mama didn't talk to me about nothing. My dad didn't talk to me about nothing. I learned it in Playboy magazines.
Right.
I mean, did I just say that? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
But I
You put it out
learned
It's out there
about
now.
it.
Yeah,
to the world.
To the world.
Right. I learned.
Don't run for office.
I learned what I learned in Playboy and Hustler magazines.
Right.
And so I didn't have nobody to talk to because my dad was like, I'm not talking to you. You big grown joker. You know what you're doing. I ain't know nothing. I just knew what I read in a book.
Wow.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So nobody was telling me anything. So for
Right, right.
years, I pretended to be the expert.
Right.
You feel me? But I really wasn't the expert.
You wasn't
Yeah.
the expert.
And I wish that somebody would have came along and told me, yo, son, this is what you need to do.
Right.
You know, but unfortunately, I didn't have that. Unfortunately, I didn't have that.
It's good that you can be open about being a rookie.
It's all right. It's all right. But my game is tight. Your game is tight
All right. Respect. Now, check this out though. You need to talk about, you know, HIV with your children as well.
For sure, man.
You know, especially nowadays.
Yeah,
You know, you better
buddy.
get that conversation out there. You know, a survey of pre-adolescents and their parents, you know, in high HIV neighborhoods found that parents overestimate how much they talk about HIV with their kids.
Wow.
You know, kids remember less than 1/4 of HIV discussions parents said occurred.
1/4.
Less than
It's
1/4.
terrible.
All they remember is condom.
Yeah. Yeah, really, that's it.
You know what I mean? That's all they remember.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's not serious to them at that point.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
unless they can
Right.
really, you know, speak to someone or they've seen someone that's
Yeah.
actually, you know,
Yeah.
been HIV
Yeah.
positive or something
Yeah.
like that, and what
Right.
it did to their lives or whatever the case may be,
Right.
they don't really have a point of reference
Right.
that they can, you know, look at and say, okay, yeah, I don't want to be in that position
Right.
right there at that time.
You know what the deal is also, because children are having sex earlier. So remember back in the day, when we would look at somebody and say, "Oh no, she's straight,"
Right.
right? Because she was older, or she was pretty, so you felt like, "Oh, she good. I know she good."
Right. Yeah.
But now, young kids are showing up at the hospital with syphilis, gonorrhea. There's a new strain of gonorrhea out there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Shoot through a condom.
Yeah, there's a new strain out there. A new strain that what the vaccine that they're giving them, it's not even, because they've had it over and over and over. So now the vaccine that they give them is not helping. So women are having some further issues down the road. And we're talking about age 12, 13, and 14.
Right.
Just last week and 2 weeks ago, a 13-year-old showed up at the hospital pregnant. Now, a 13-year-old. Now, I beg to plead with you that it's not the first time she had sex that she got pregnant.
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
Probably not. I mean, it wasn't the first, I'm pregnant now.
Right.
But I'm sure she's been practicing this. And so she showed up pregnant and had gonorrhea.
Good
Wow.
night, man.
So now, you know what I mean? So now it becomes a Child Protective Services center.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
buddy.
Right?
You got it.
So they send the baby girl, the 13-year-old, they got to call the parents and say, hey, what's going on?
Right.
She darts out of the emergency room. And, they call her parents, come up there. They was looking around for her. She went to some of her friends' house to hide out. I don't know where she thought she was going to go.
Wow.
But this is real life, real talk.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think parents, you've got to get into this kind of
Because a
conversation.
conversation, man, prevented all of that.
Yes.
from
Yeah,
taking
just a
place.
conversation.
Yes. Just if it's important talking about askable parents. If children don't feel like they can come and ask you anything, think about something. They're not even going to get to asking you about Jesus if they can't talk to you about sex.
That's right.
Think about
That's
that.
right.
The most harmless person in the world is Christ, and they're not getting to you talking to you about Christ. They're not coming to you talking to you about sex.
That's right.
You feel me? So
That's
it's homecoming's around the corner. Right? Homecoming's around the corner. Whole lot of dating going on.
Yeah.
Whole lot of expectations out there going on.
Yes, sir.
So it's just time to go on and use this show as a platform to talk to your kids.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Just
And
start
if
it
you
off
need,
just
if
like
you
that.
need to, let them hear the show.
Right.
If they're old enough, they done heard everything else.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They're 13, PG-13. We PG-13 tonight.
Right.
Yeah, we got to keep it there.
Yeah, we can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We
And
can talk about it.
if you're not comfortable, then have somebody that that's able to talk to them about this conversation if you can't do it. But they got to get the information.
Well, I tell you what, just put this show on
Yeah.
and let them listen to the show.
Yep.
That will spark conversation.
You got
Absolutely.
that right.
Just say, baby girl, brother man, have a seat. I want you to listen to something.
Put that Xbox down.
Put that OTC University on for them.
OTC.
And then when you get done, then let's holler at
right.
So what's going on? And they're going to hit you with that. They don't know what they're talking about.
And
No.
don't start talking to them first. Just open up the floor and say,
Yeah.
what do you think about
Yeah.
what you heard?
Yeah, what you
And
think?
if you think they're not going to listen, make them take some notes.
There you go.
There it is.
And
There
that
you go.
way you can say, okay, well, what you get out of the show?
There you
What
go.
you write down?
Yes.
Because now they actually have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Going in, we real professors, ain't we?
Go for it. Go for it.
You just parents often think that they're talking to their kids about AIDS, but may also be discussing medical facts and not necessarily sexuality or safer sex. There's a national survey that found that mothers of children age 11 and older actually rated themselves an unsatisfactory on talking about issues such as how to tell when youth are ready to be sexually active. That was at like 38% or something like that. And then on preventing HIV was like 40%. Sexual orientation was at 47%.
Yeah.
And how to use a condom, 73%.
Wow. It's
That's staggering.
I think what happens, though, we all know that they teach some of this stuff in school.
Right.
So what we have done, the parents, we have put the responsibility to teach our children on the school.
Right.
You feel me? And so I remember walking by the, I think it's
You got a lot of memories today.
health and nutrition class. And my daughter was in the class, and I was looking through the little glass thing on the door. And I was supposed to go knock and get her out of class. I'm looking through there, and I see this baby coming at me. Woman with her legs open, baby coming out, because they watching sex orientation class on the screen. because it was the day that they was going to be teaching about sex,
Right.
and the results of sex.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there looking at. Let me tell you something. I was a little traumatized because when my wife had a baby, I wasn't down there talking about, come on, baby, come on. No. I was up there by her head, minding my business, letting little Bobby do his business, right? So when I got up there and I looked between that, I said,
Bobby was a little squeamish.
You know, I passed out. You know what I'm saying? So I know that children and parents are thinking that, oh, I saw that, so I got that. I got that down. But in reality, that is just another opportunity for us to have that conversation.
Right. Well, let's do this. Let's touch on some tips about talking to your children about sex.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hit it.
Now, first you got to be open, honest, and available.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Available when I'm ready or when they ready?
No, available when they're
And
ready.
they ready. Yep.
You got to be available when that child is
You
ready.
know, Joe could be like, I ain't ready yet.
Right.
I'm not ready yet.
Sometimes I don't even wait till my kids are ready or available. I was like, we need to talk about this. Come on, we got a meeting going on.
Yeah.
It's just important.
Family
We need to
meeting.
hit
Yeah.
Family meeting. We
Come
got to
on
hit
in, pull
this.
it in.
Sit it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
You bet.
Get the chips and the dip out.
I don't know about all that.
Make sure also that you're using words that are understandable and comfortable.
Right.
You know, leave out all of the technical jargon.
Yeah.
And, you know, leave that to the experts.
Yeah.
The big words.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Like they'll doctor me and stuff like that. I don't understand.
As you look at the condom, it is clear that the condom must be
And say condom. Don't say prophylactic. They don't know what you're talking about. Okay?
All right.
And
Right.
for some of the people, if they're in DC, you better say rubber,
Right.
because they're just not gonna understand where you're coming from.
There you go.
Understand where you're at and the school system that they're in. You better recognize.
Right.
Now, encourage your child to talk, you know, and ask questions, you know, but listen to the answers.
Right. That's right.
Don't cut them off. Let them go ahead and get out what they have to say and listen to what they're saying.
That's right.
Right.
Because if you stop them at that one point, you might not ever hear
Right.
where they're really trying to take you.
Right.
At that point, they might just be giving you some little filler questions initially
Right.
in that conversation, just to see how
Yeah.
open you're going to be to it.
Right.
You know, if your child asks you any questions, you know, then answer immediately, even if the timing of it isn't perfect. You know, because you can always expand on your topic at a more opportune time.
Right.
That's what I did. I was like, I wasn't ready. I had to put my son out.
Right.
But I had to remind myself to call him back.
You gotta call him
You
back.
know what I mean? So I had to call him back. But I mean, that's straight. I think that's real talk. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know? And I know I sound like I was ready, but I wasn't at the time. I was like, good Lord. Jesus. In the name of Jesus. See, the only thing I want to say, too, you can't pray it out either.
Yeah.
All right, y'all deep and wonderful folks out there.
Nah, you can't.
Hallelujah. Jesus. Can't pray it out.
Okay.
You got to talk it out.
You got to talk it out.
right.
Yeah,
That's
you,
right.
this ain't one of them you got to leave to the Holy Spirit. You need to talk it out. All right? I know, I mean, I'm just saying what I'm saying.
That's
Cause
real
we
talk.
drag,
That's
Because we
real
drag
talk.
young folks to the altar real quick and pray over them and throw oil all over them.
Right.
And speak in tongues all over them, fall out, roll on the floor. When they get up, they still ready to have sex.
And knowledge is power.
Yeah.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
So you better talk to them.
yeah,
Knowledge
you
is
better talk.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In everything.
Yes.
About everything. You know, so try to determine what your child is really asking when they come ask you a question. You know, is he or she worried about being normal?
Right.
You know, is there a moral, religious, or cultural conflict that they might be dealing with within themselves?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, does your child want to check his knowledge against your knowledge?
Yeah.
So listening, I mean, really, really listening
Right.
is going to be key,
That's key.
to
Right.
good communication.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, at all
Right.
times. Now, the next thing is maintain a calm, non-judgmental attitude. You know, a sense of humor can actually relieve some tension and facilitate discussion.
Yeah.
And it's okay to talk about, you know, your own discomfort and make light of it.
Right.
I do that all the time with my kids because I know them being girls, you know, because at one point in time I was raising them basically by myself. So I had to talk to them about everything.
Right.
Everything, you know. So I had to make light I had to make light of some situations.
I got a question
You know,
for you.
with
You don't even want to know.
hold
my
on.
question.
You're gonna ask it, so
You know he's going to
yeah, I know.
probably on the air.
Right, I'm sure he is. So I had to talk to them about everything,
Everything.
When it comes to when it comes to their cycles and stuff like that, I had to give it another name.
Right.
They be like, "What you talking about?" But we laugh about it. But
Right.
I had to.
What
you call it? What you call it?
I call it the people under the stairs.
He came out the closet. He came out the closet.
People understand.
Right.
Okay.
So when the situation come around, they would feel like okay, he understands.
people under the stairs are here.
It's not uncomfortable, right? It's not an uncomfortable situation.
Sound like
you know
the
what I'm saying?
Blair Witch Project. The people under the stairs.
People under the stairs.
What would you gonna ask? Oh, shit,
No,
I'll
I
say
think
that.
you answered it. I think
I asked, you talking about that right there?
Yeah, that's what I
Oh no, that didn't
what I
frighten me. Or
wanted.
it didn't scare me away because I knew that they were dealing with that. But I wanted to
Right.
make sure that they understood that I'm not uncomfortable with this. I will go to the store and get the stuff if you need.
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
no
it.
doubt. No doubt.
It doesn't bother me. I just want you to have the
No
stuff.
doubt. And it's
so.
good that you didn't laugh because you don't ever, as a parent, want to laugh
Right.
at your child's questions. No
Right.
matter what, you
got
don't
that
laugh.
right. Yeah.
But you had already covered the masturbation part with them.
We've been covered that part.
Okay, so we was cool.
You stupid.
All right.
I told you I talked to them about everything.
Yeah, I hope they was in that class with you.
Yeah, but everything. They actually were in the class.
there you
They
go.
were in the
There you
class.
go.
But they already knew. See.
Oh.
So it was like,
All right.
It was like, she don't know about
You
that.
already talked to him though, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we talked about it.
How does a man talk to a? Ooh, that's interesting. That might be another show. All right, moving along. Don't laugh at your child's questions.
Just gonna leave it.
No matter what, don't laugh at your child's questions. Because they may have some questions that throw you off. Don't laugh at the questions. Don't do it.
You just read
Don't
that.
laugh at the questions.
Where you at?
And if you don't have an answer, admit it.
That's true.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah.
saying I don't know.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can find out
I'll
for
find
you.
out.
Yeah.
Let you know.
Yeah, for real, for real. Above all, remind your child that you love and respect them, will always be there for them, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. So always be there for them.
Every day, 24/7,
right,
365.
And it makes the child feel comfortable knowing that you're always going to be there and ready to talk, It's the main thing. And that's another issue, that we deal with as parents as well, and it's huge. You talking about quality time.
For real.
Yeah.
We just parents don't spend a lot of quality times with the kids. We've, as you can see here, we've already established that children have very little communication with their parents about things like sex, school, peer pressure, and things that they're dealing with, as a whole.
Right.
But the question we should be asking ourselves as parents is, why has quality family time diminished so with our families? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I think we talked about it before. Where are the
Yeah.
good time families?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
the good
for real.
times families and
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie?
Right.
That was my show right there. You know what I'm
Little House
saying?
on the Prairie?
Little House on the Prairie. I used to watch that.
Build a house on the
I used to watch Little House on the Prairie.
You know
Yes.
you black, right?
Yeah, I'm black.
How old was you when you watched it?
I was young, man. I didn't know no better. I wasn't looking at color.
Did you like Laura Ingraham?
I loved the whole
First of all, I'm mad you remember her name.
Laura Ingraham.
I'm mad.
Stop playing.
You remember
Stop playing.
her name.
I watched the Huxtables, the Brady Bunch, all those families, the Partridge family.
Oh, yeah.
I watched all of them.
I watched it too. Because I
I know you
remember
did.
when
I
Mary
know
was
you did.
blind. You remember when she was blind?
I remember all of them.
Yeah,
wow.
Okay, yeah, come on, man. I can go with you, dog. Chad can't go.
Yeah, y'all going together. I watched Good Times, The Jeffersons,
We watched. But it's like, what happened to
Starsky
these?
and Hutch.
Yeah, I watched that too now. It was like, what happened to these families,
Yeah, yeah, that's
and
That
the
is
thing of it is that family time has been replaced with
Yeah.
electronic stimulation.
That is true.
All
That is true.
these gadgets out here,
Does that go back to the
But-
class that you was teaching? Or what you talking about?
we talked about that in the class too, and I'm not
did
talking
you?
about that.
Whoa.
I was just asking. He said electronic.
Whoa.
And you the one talking about the other thing. I'm just curious.
No.
We talking to the parents.
We talking about
They need to know.
No, electronic stimulation.
Xbox,
Things that,
PlayStation.
right? Thank
Okay,
you.
okay,
There,
there
there
you
it
go.
is, right
Well,
there.
say
Not that masturbation.
Say it then.
I didn't get to that part. I was trying to get to that
Well,
part.
you should have said it.
Okay. Whoa.
All I said was class. Y'all did everything else. That's all I want to say. America. Did y'all got that? America, I want you
Why
to
is
be
he talking like
quiet.
Bernie Mac?
Bernie said America.
America.
I miss Bernie.
Yeah. The new babysitters out there, man, on TVs and iPads and
Yeah.
Instagram
But let
and
me ask
stuff.
you this question though.
Uh-huh.
I have seen a lot of single parents. They have used these electronic stimulation sources to babysit their children.
That's true.
So it's like, I'm tired. I just got off work. I'm finished.
Right.
So if they want to go in the room and play PlayStation, play whatever for the next 3 hours, I'm good with that because I'm tired.
Right. Yeah.
But see, that's the wrong focus. That's why parenting is a lost art.
Right.
Exactly.
Because parenting is something that you are obligated to do.
Right.
Not something that you have a choice not to do.
Right.
You see that? Because you gotta parent your kids. You can't let them just decide, oh, I'm tired, I got off work today dealing with the man, so he can do 3 hours in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Here's how I deal with it. If I'm doing something else that doesn't require his visitation, my son's time, then I let him earn time to play on the games.
Right.
And if they spend too much time on those games, a lot of them, going to school and trying to, act out what they're saying.
Yeah, man.
That Call of Duty and all that other, all those other violent, games that they play on PlayStations and Xboxes and things. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against those things, but they had, but you need to put a time frame for when they can play. Because when we was coming up, it was you would go outside.
That's right.
Just be in before dusk hit for them street lights come on.
Right.
Because dinner's at a certain time and that's it and that's all. It wasn't up for a discussion.
Right.
The electronic games, well, you better wait till Saturday.
Yeah. Well, that's why obesity is a problem.
Yeah, huge problem,
it's
man.
a huge problem in America.
Right.
And for me, I would take that personal if I had a child that was overweight. And I can tell because I'm observing them and spending quality time with them that it's because of their diet. It's because of their sedentary. Because they don't get out and do other things.
Did he say sedentary?
Yeah. So because of that, because they don't do stuff,
kids.
So you have to make sure let me tell you what, my nephews came here. They came to visit me. I told them, now they come in, my nephew is like 14. He about 205. 14.
How tall is he?
He about 5'5".
With 5 anything, you're a little bit.
205.
14, right?
You're a little bit.
14. Yeah. And so what I did was I told him him and his brother. His brother is smaller than him, like 10. Okay. Also on the big side. So
husky.
They said, Uncle Bobby, what we gonna do today? I said, we're going to have a day of exercise.
I know that's right.
They said, exercise? So my son was in the other room playing Xbox. Can we go in there and play with Bobby? I said, no. It's a day of exercise. I said, you have to earn playtime. They said, Uncle Bobby, how we earn playtime? I said, 4 laps. They said, what? I said, right, 4 laps.
I thought you was going to say raising that Twinkie 4 times to my mouth till it was gone.
4 laps. I gave one of them a football. I said, now you run around the house, 1 lap, hand it to him. He run around the house, 1 lap, hand it to him. 4 laps. You earn 30 minutes to play on the game.
Wow.
30 minutes on the game. They was in there, right? Okay, we good, Uncle Bobby. 30 minutes came by, the little clock went off. Ding, 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 ding. All right. 4 laps. Right? By the end of the day, they was like, man, Uncle Bobby, we done ran.
Yeah.
And they slept good that night.
Yeah.
Oh, they slept real good. Uncle Bobby, they slept good. They didn't stay up late. We sleepy. Put that hot water, and check what I did with them. I put them in a bath. No shower. Bath.
Yeah.
That sleepy bath.
Oh, yeah, that sleepy bath.
With the little bubbles.
That'll take you.
Not the bubbles from
the dish liquid.
Some of that joy.
Some gone.
Yes, sir.
Cut the grease.
Hey, it worked though. At the end of the day, they got the exercise they were looking for, and they got what they wanted to.
Whatever you got to do to motivate them, man.
So did I lose anybody on sedentary?
Yeah.
It means to don't be sitting. Just
look it up.
Sitting, doing nothing, sitting. That's what it means.
Right.
Sedentary.
Got it. Write it down, America.
Yeah.
Write it down. But and another thing is just like today, man. A lot of parents just don't have rules. It's much easier for the parent to let their kids slide than to hold them accountable for their actions. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't get away with nothing when I was little. I don't understand my mother.
I got the Jablinski beat off me when I was playing.
Linsky.
Yeah, that's my word. I just made that up. Y'all have never heard that ever before. Okay, it will be Wikipedia coming soon. Don't ask me what it means. It just sound all right.
But the parents don't realize, man, that this communicates to your children that you don't care.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't discipline them, you gotta discipline your kids.
Yes, because see,
beat your kids.
My daughter, and I think I said this before. My daughter told me one day riding back from the gym, she said that she had a friend whose parents let her do whatever she wants to do. Wow. She can stay out as late as she pretty much wants to, eat whatever she pretty much wants to, and do whatever she pretty much wants to. And my daughter said that because they don't institute any rules for her, that means that they don't love her. Think about that. Right. If I don't value you, then I don't give you anything to live by.
Right. That's a serious message that they're sending.
Yeah. I mean, and so the child, that's what they will do. They will try to find somebody that will value them.
Right.
And the
find
pimp,
love in the wrong place.
The pimp will always pretend that you are valued.
Yeah.
Because
you are?
Yeah, the drug dealer will make sure you're valued. Let's not go as far as the pimp do. Let's just say the high school dude.
Yeah.
He gonna show that they are valued. And ultimately what'll happen is, because you don't have any rules for them to live by, they'll live by their own rules. You know what I mean?
You remember the police cop that we had on there?
Yeah.
He remember the story he talked about? He mentioned it, I think, outside the show.
Yeah.
Talking about he got a call from a mother who was being abused by her son.
By a 12-year-old, right?
Yeah, they wanted to call, and the little dude was 12 years old, abusing the mother. I'm like, are you crazy?
Yes.
And he said he had to get him in there, and he had to basically yoke him up, you know, and the dude wouldn't even look at him in the face. And he was like, look at me. Yeah. Look at me. No. But it's sad, man, to have a 12-year-old, 12, you know, doing that to the parents, terrorizing the parents. Like, are you crazy? Man, it's just crazy out here with that, you know.
But that started well before that child was 12.
Started before the child, started way before the child was 12. Yeah. Get a hold of it now. You know, the Bible gives us the right to spank their tails.
Yeah. Spank that.
Not abuse them. Not abuse them. Yeah. But you can spank them.
Beat your kids.
You know.
I beat mine. I beat mine for a minute, but I think I beat my son a lot. I didn't beat my daughter as much, but my son, I used to beat him till I was huffing and puffing.
Right. Like, ooh. You ride the kingdom.
Good Lord.
Jesus. That was my way of getting away from my dad. I wanted him to get tired. I thought if I take off running, by the time you get to me, you're going to be too tired to keep wailing.
But you know what? I think that's why I think I have a good son today. Because the discipline that I put on him early. Yeah. Because you know them boys, man. Them boys swell up quick.
Yeah.
You got to get on them, man. Observation is not just looking at them. You talked about quality time. But now observation is another key. Yeah, it's not just looking at your child. Right. It's a bigger scope of looking at your child.
Exactly. Right.
You know, how long would it take for you to notice that your child was doing drugs or selling drugs?
Right.
When, you know, child got money showing up. You know, you got to pay for your child's lunch ticket. You know, at school now, you got to pay for it online and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. If you haven't paid on their lunch ticket in a long time, that's a sign that something's going on.
Right.
They stealing food from somebody, or they selling food to somebody, or they getting money somehow. But nobody, you know, well, I ain't got to pay that $35 a month or whatever, so it's good with me. No, something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. How about you make your child's lunch, and your child comes home that day, and you say, "How was your food?" And he says, "Oh, it was great." Well, what'd you have? He didn't have it.
Right.
Because somebody took it.
Right.
See, that's a sign that lets you know something's going on with your child.
Oh yeah.
You know, your child's lunchbox don't come home with him.
Right.
You know, I'm like, where the bag at? I mean, I give you the lunchbox. It don't come home.
Right.
You know, those are the kind of things you got to kind of go, let me holler at you for a minute. But parents sometimes overlook that.
Right.
You know, their cookies got taken from them because them bully took the cookies.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's something that you got to really be looking out for.
That's true.
Man.
That's true.
How long would it take for you to notice that your daughter was pregnant? How does a a woman, a baby girl, a woman that live in a house with another baby girl, how is it that she can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months pregnant and the mother doesn't know?
That's sad right there, dude.
Not paying any attention
For real.
to it at all.
Sad.
Now, I've heard of carrying babies in your back,
Right.
but you
Yeah.
can't carry a 9-month baby nowhere
Right.
in your
Right.
back.
Right.
I mean, I've heard women say that, you know,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
first
yeah.
baby, it take a
Right.
long time before you show. But look,
Right.
6, 7, 8, come on now. Something
And that
wrong.
child couldn't have been so big
Right.
as far as their anatomy was concerned,
Right.
you know, to be able to hide carrying a child to term.
I just don't see
I know mothers was in a situation, and some of them, when they realized, you know, and it's because they weren't really observing. But the thing that they said was, "Well, I just thought that she was gaining weight because she was eating more, and you know, different things like that." I'm like, as a mother, you should be a real mother who's paying attention to your daughter. You should be able to look at your daughter, and first of all,
Yeah.
there's signs that you can tell that they're even having sex in the first place.
Sure,
You
right.
can look
Right.
on from a not necessarily from a physical standpoint, but from how they change. It's
Yes.
almost like they're trying to creep into
Yeah, and
adulthood,
womanhood
or womanhood, or
before
something. So
soon,
you can
yeah.
tell, okay, something's going on. They having
There you
sex,
go.
but that's when you paying attention to your child.
That's right.
So if they get pregnant, you as a mother, you should be able to tell.
Yes.
And women got that knack to be able to know.
Sure.
Oh, my
Intuition.
wife would do it in a minute. She say,
Sure.
"Oh, she pregnant." It's
Yeah.
like, how you know? How can
Yeah.
you tell? She said, "I can see it on her."
Yeah.
You know. So if you're a mother.
Yeah.
And your child, and you don't see that, you're
Yeah.
really not paying attention to what's going on.
It's
So they ain't never had no nails, now nails long.
Right.
Yeah, now they
Things
get
start
hair
yeah.
growing.
Yeah, right.
You gotta glow.
Right. The
Right.
same is true with a son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, boys act different before sex and after sex.
Yeah, buddy.
Boys become a lot more cocky, before
uh-huh.
sex, after sex. Their
Lose that silliness.
vocabulary changes before sex and after sex. Their swag, if you will,
Right, right.
changes before
Uh-huh.
sex.
They have some.
and after sex. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta say, "Let me holler at you." You know what I mean? Because what's up? Because you can tell when they've been getting it in and when they're not getting it in. You know, that's just the facts.
That's the truth,
And it's
dude.
on both sides of the street.
Right,
You know
right.
what
No
I
doubt,
mean?
no doubt.
Would you be able to tell if your child was being bullied? We talked about that. Would you know if your child was being touched inappropriately? You know what I mean? And I think we're talking about some younger kids here for the
Right,
most part.
Right.
But I don't think there's many, teenagers out there being touched inappropriately. But the issue would be this, that are they being bullied in some cases? Because if they're being touched inappropriately, they're probably being bullied down the road. You know what I mean? But the question I always have is the young kids. You know what I mean? Have we taught our young kids not to be touched? Why they shouldn't
And
be
I
touched?
just want to say, it's not just the young kids. You know, you do have some
Yeah.
teenagers that are being touched, because maybe they started being touched when they were younger, and
Right.
they just carried on for a number of years up
Yeah.
into
Right.
their teens.
There you
But
go.
once they've been, psychologically,
Yes.
imposed upon by this predator,
Right.
now they don't feel comfortable enough to actually
Talk to
speak
you.
on it because
Right,
now, they've
yeah.
been made to feel like, oh, it's going to ruin the family.
Yeah.
All these individuals going to hate me. I'm going to be looked at as less than, or
You're
whatever
right.
the case may be. So
You're right.
now, they're thinking a certain way, so they are still being touched
Yeah.
while they're in their teens.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Donnie McClurkin even talked about it a little bit. I've heard his story.
Yeah.
He talked about even as a 12-year-old, he believed, so he had been molested, so he grew up to believe that this was normal.
wow.
He grew up to believe that this was the normal way of life.
Right.
He didn't really come to the realization that it wasn't normal till later in his life. You know what I mean? So molestation can happen at any age. I didn't mean to make it just a
Sure.
little person,
Right,
you know?
right.
But it can happen at any age,
Right.
and we have to be just ready, especially in a day like today.
Come on now.
I often, man, I know you got girls, and I know you got kids too, Chad. I'm often concerned about who my kids hang out with.
Yeah, that was major for me.
Because, see,
Yeah.
I feel like birds of a feather flock together.
Yep.
So I feel like if I got a son who I think is church boy, love Jesus, and all that,
Right.
but all his crew is OG, thugged out, let's roll,
Right.
then there's something that I'm missing in the connect.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I
So that's just a sign to me that I miss something.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because if he loved Jesus, he can't love killing and stealing and, you know.
Right.
I'll give you an example. The other day my son says, Dad, I'm going down to 7-Eleven. I said, who are you going with? Well, I'm going with my crew down the street. I said, first of all, dude, you have money. He says, no. I said, well, you don't go to 7-Eleven
with no money
if you don't have money.
Right.
He says, why not? Why can't I go to 7-Eleven, Dad? I'm just going with my boys. I said, because you'll steal.
Right.
Because when you don't have money, then you tempted to do what? Steal.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm like, you don't get to go to 7-Eleven.
Right.
I said, I'm sorry. He said, well, Dad, give me $5. I said, here you go, $5. Now you go to 7-Eleven.
There you go.
But you can't go nowhere with no money
That's right.
and think you're not going to steal because when you're tempted, you will do it.
Yeah, it's the same way with my girls. You know, being in the church. You know, they in the music thing. You know, and singing at churches. You know, across the area and stuff like that. And them hanging out with a girl who, you know, I know is a roller out there. You know, and they know it. I'm like, what? Why? Why would you even want to hang with them? First of all, you got a reputation to uphold.
Yes.
You know, and like you said, birds of a feather, they're gonna flock together, and people are gonna associate you with that. You know, so you got to be careful. So me as a parent, if anybody comes to my house or such want to come out, who is she? Who's her parents? What does she do in school? Does she go to church? Is she saved? I'm asking all kinds of questions. I want to know everything about her. With that, she's okay. I said, okay. I said, all right, she can come over. I ask my question. Then when they get over to the house, I interview them again.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know, hey, how you doing? You know, what's going on?
Real,
you know, so you know.
So let's go to some other traits that we should be looking for.
Okay.
Your child's friends change. Start get a new circle of friends.
Right.
Always clear. If they got mood swings,
Right.
might have some drug scenarios going on, right? Could have some drug situations happening because mood swings. Chad, you might know a little bit more about this because your hood days, you know, back in your OG days.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
You might know a little bit about them mood swings. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know, I know you can't talk about that on the air.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
But when your kids are borrowing money from you all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, extra money. And I'm real careful about putting money aside for my kids.
Right.
I used to do that a lot, but I stopped doing that because then I seemed like every time I was filling up the bowl.
Right.
You know, and I never was getting any feedback for where the money was going. You know, I stopped doing that, you know. Sometimes kids develop negative attitudes. You know what I mean? And your drugs end up missing. Your prescription drugs sometimes end up missing.
Definitely got to watch that.
Yeah. So
even if they're not taking them, they might be taking them to school or somewhere in the
there's
street.
stuff
So you got
out there
some
now
occupied
around the house you need to be careful about.
Yeah,
folks
man.
sniffing paint and glue and all that.
Stuffing.
Man, come on,
Baby
man.
powder mixed with stuff.
Come on, man. So let's get on this pregnancy thing.
Now let's tackle pregnancy, okay?
Yeah.
Some signs like mood swings and irritable behavior.
Right.
You know, being secretive with texts, emails, phone calls. I dig into my kids' business, okay?
Yeah.
Depression, frequent bathroom trips. These are all the things you need to notice. Of course, one of the big ones, a missed period.
Right.
You know, keep track of that as a parent. Watch that. You know, and if it's missing, ask, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
You ain't had a period in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what's going on? You know, you can't get past that one.
Even a dad, I knew. I knew what my daughter's period was, and I was like, it's around such and such in a month.
Right.
Should be some things going on. My wife would be like, what you talking about? I'm like, no, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Right.
And then, you know, they got the diet change, start eating a little bit more, baggy clothes, trying to cover stuff up, sleeping all the time. These are all signs right here that something's going on, you know. Now let's hit this real quick.
All right.
We talked about it a little bit, but it's major out there, you know, about, you know, our kids being touched inappropriately. A lot of times we don't pay attention to that, you know. We already know that most child abuse goes unreported.
Yes. Right.
That's sad. 2001, the National Crime Victimization Survey, which covered youth 12 to 17, estimates that 1.9 per 1,000 children are raped or sexually assaulted.
Wow, that's
according to RAIN, which is a Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. 93% of juvenile sexual assaults is perpetrated. I was about to say something else.
I told you
It was perpetrated by someone.
I try to help you out.
By someone that the child already knows.
Yeah.
We're a society now where boys are being touched almost as much as girls.
Yeah.
That's the truth right there. Because most children don't tell about the abuse. It is up to the parent or concerned friends to recognize this abuse. So what are some signs to look for about this?
And don't be fooled into thinking that it's only men that are doing the touching.
You got what?
You know, because there are women that are doing the touching as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Touching the boys and touching the girls.
Oh, I can tell a story, dog. Because
Don't tell a story. We ain't got time for a story.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my story there.
Yeah, you got to save it for another
I'm
show.
about to say for another show then.
Keep it moving, bro.
Some signs, right? If these are signs you may not be paying attention, but if you got a child and you know that there's certain things you may have not talked to them about, but they're demonstrating certain sexual acts with their toys.
Yeah,
like,
Ken and Barbie.
The Ken and Barbie, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's a sign. You're like, hey, where did they get that from? Are they seeing it on
Right.
TV or something going on? You know, the child may speak of themselves as being bad, or the child may be sad. You know, you see they going in a corner sometime, or when certain people come around, they're scared, or you know, they're becoming shy and stuff like that. Those are also signs that something is going on.
And if their grades start slipping, that's huge.
Huge, major
That's a
right there.
huge indicator.
Grades slipping. The child may complain about problems going on in the their genitalia area. Something there's problems, something hurts, or something doesn't feel right.
There you go.
You as a parent, don't be scared to go down there and check stuff out.
Yeah,
or
check it out.
You don't want to go down there and take them to the doctor. You got to find out what's going on. You know, you can't play
Right.
around that. You know.
You know, I tell you one that gets people all the time. Black folks see this all the time. If they start kissing other children,
Right. Yeah.
that always make black folks go, "What you doing? Don't be kissing on that. You know, don't get me kissing. You don't kiss nobody but me." You know. But they don't really realize that might be some way they're acting out whatever happened to them.
Right.
So
And these are signs for young children, but then you got teens too.
Yeah, right.
And some teens, like Chad was saying, they go through this through childhood, and they keep getting this abuse as they come up, and it plays on them mentally.
Yes.
And so sometimes some of them will just want to commit suicide because they
Absolutely.
feel like they can't
Absolutely.
escape from what's going on.
Right,
You know,
right.
some of them go through deep depressions.
Yeah.
You know,
Want to take a lot of baths and you know, you think they got like OCD or something because they just never feel like they're clean.
Right,
You
because
know.
they trying to wash that thing off. You
out.
can't do that, you know. You got they go through low self-esteem. Some of them run away from home, just trying to escape some things, and just have like a self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you got school that have problems in school. You know, somebody say something to them. Sometimes you'll pop off and knock somebody out. You know,
Can't sleep or sleep all the time.
all the time. Right. You know,
One of the two.
and withdrawal from family. You know,
And that promiscuity.
Yes.
You got to watch that.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you start seeing that, kind of like what Bobby was talking about. You know, you start going to school, you see them taking something different because they can't go out of the house like that.
Right.
You know, but they want to wear that mini skirt.
Right.
You know, that's just drops just below the cheeks or something like that, trying to draw some attention.
also, I don't believe in this private time thing. I don't believe in the whole thing behind, like, you ever meet parents that say, you know, they deserve their privacy, you know, so they let their daughters and their sons be in their room all day.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They deserve their privacy because when I was growing up, I didn't have my privacy and all that stuff. No. No.
Right.
My son is 16 years old. I busted his room in a heartbeat.
That's right.
What you doing? What's going on up in here? You feel me? Because no, they none of that. I know my wife, when my daughter used to go get a shower, 18 years old now. My wife would follow her right in her room with her. Oh, I'm making sure everything is everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ain't none of that. No. Ain't none of that. Because you in my house. Now she's away at college. She can do what she want to do. But hey, while she was in my house, we was watching everything.
Well,
Mailbox time.
Mailbox time.
Is it me on the question?
Yeah, go and take
All
that
right,
question.
I got
Brian.
the question. So the question is, why do men initiate interest in a woman, and when she responds back gently, he backs off? This is so fickle, in my opinion. This is from Carolyn from Capitol Heights,
Maryland. Okay.
So what's up with the brother that's giving them a little bit of attention, little interest, and then when she responds, I want Chad to answer this.
Y'all don't want me to answer that.
Go ahead.
You don't want me to answer that.
100.
You don't want me to answer that.
Hit him hard.
I'm telling you, I don't want me to answer that.
You gotta answer.
Home run. Go ahead. What you think it is?
I think that if you responded gently to that brother and he backed off, that all he wanted from you in the beginning was the booty.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
That's all it was. If he,
Right.
if he came and approached you, maybe y'all had some conversation, a couple phone calls or whatever, then all of a sudden, you wasn't giving him the energy that he wanted to make him feel like he was going to get to the next level ASAP.
Right.
All he didn't want to get to know you. He just wanted to, get in your pants.
Right, because your
under your skirt or whatever you will.
your response wasn't aggressive enough.
Right.
It didn't take him to the point where it wasn't almost aggressive sexually enough for him to lead him on and say that, okay, I think I'm gonna get something from her. Depending on the response. But you responded differently. So
and he probably did you a favor for real.
Yeah,
you got that right. That's the basic thing.
And sometimes it just might have been he was flirting.
Yeah.
Might have just been flirting with you.
Yeah, so to whatever degree, he showed interest. We don't know that because you didn't actually say that. But if it was just, hi, how you doing?
Right.
Or, paid you a compliment, you can't always read into that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Could have been married.
Don't do that. He could have been married. You might have moved on. So, hey, be glad you pressed past.
He had to go home.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, man, let's hit the contest, bro.
Contest.
Let's do it,
All right. Check it out. We got this new contest in place, and this contest is hot.
Fire
Burn it up.
and desire.
You must be a follower of the show to qualify for this contest, all right? So go to www.spreaker.com. Sign up with your email address, type in Off the Cuff in the search box, and then click on the follower button. That will make you a part of the OTC University family. We will be choosing a winner each week, and that winner will be put into a drawing to win a $50 Visa gift card. Now, if we call your name as one of the weekly winners, you will have 1 week from the date we call your name to respond. If we do not hear from you within the week, you forfeit your eligibility to win the $50 Visa gift card, but you still qualify for the grand prize now. We will be choosing the winners of the $50 Visa gift card every first Sunday of the month. But hold on. There's even more to this contest. And Little Chad's going to come tell you about the big surprise.
I'm going to come tell you a little something. I'm going to tell it what I tell you. Now, every 3 months, all of the Visa gift card winners will be put into a drawing to have the opportunity to become a guest host on the show with the men of Off the Cuff. Now, y'all know how we do it. You know how we get it in. We keep everything 100. And you know how we roll. So if you're chosen to be a guest host on the show, be ready to keep it off the cuff with us.
Right.
And we're going to have a good time. Don't worry about that. We had a good time. It's all love, all respect at all time.
Right.
Now, our first grand prize winner will be chosen November 4th. Y'all know that now. That day should be significant, so everybody going to have to tune in.
Got that right.
That date is significant to a lot of people, So make sure you get registered now if you want to be a part of what we do.
Mm-hmm. So the grand prize winner going to be right before the presidential election.
Right before the presidential election.
All right, that's cool.
It's going to be huge.
All right, well, you ready?
The past winners, I just want to let them know, the past winners from the last contest that actually claimed their prizes, they'll be included in the drawing as well.
Okay.
That's what's up.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. It's the drum roll.
The winner is Shanika Porter.
Shanika Porter. Okay.
Shanika Porter.
Where you at, Shanika?
Shanika Porter sound like a white girl.
No, it's not a
What?
white girl. Shanika.
I got a feeling.
What?
You sound
I got a
crazy.
feeling.
Shanika?
Like, I believe it's a white girl.
You a
Well,
prophet
my
or
mama
something?
was confused then because
He is a
I
black
don't
Moses.
think-
Maybe he
Shanika,
knows.
go ahead and send us something in.
Yeah.
I bet you $5.
You might need to win just so we can see
I bet
what's
it's a
going
white
on.
I bet it's
He's
$5.
a white girl.
$5. White girl.
$5.
Is this your cousin or something?
No.
Because you're pretty confident.
Let's get
in
off the
that.
air, bro. We going
Real-
crazy right now.
Real confident. He wanted to bet money on it.
Hey, man, this show was a good show. We was real,
Yeah.
It wasn't no fun in this show.
Yeah.
We got to set that up for the next show.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
Want to make sure we get this
yeah,
information
a
out
lot of
there.
information
It's
to
important.
get out. You know what I
It's
mean?
important.
We usually chuck it up and laugh it up a lot, but this time we had to keep it 100 with them.
And we appreciate y'all comments on our blog and
We appreciate
everything,
the
letting us
comments.
know you know, the things that you're going through and how the show has touched you. That means a whole lot to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're glad we can touch people.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing before we sign off.
For it.
The election. I'm going to touch on it one more time. Make sure you get registered.
Yes.
21 days prior to November 4th.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know, you need to be registered by October 16th online at 9 p.m. That is the deadline. That's the absolute deadline. If you haven't done it, then you're short. Make sure you get your ID and your passports and military ID, work ID, student ID, all that stuff together. Actually, I'm sorry, not work ID. They're not going to accept that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be an official state
ID.
issued ID
Right.
Yeah.
for you to be able to vote. All right. Now, early voting starts again, you know, on Saturday, October 27th, Thursday.
September?
October.
Whatever.
That's a new
Whatever.
one.
Anyway, go ahead. Get registered to vote.
Right.
Go to canivote.org
every
or
6
voter
years.
services, elections, and state and these fellas are simple. Y'all know what I'm saying. Go vote
October.
and just say no. Both y'all got some tests coming out.
All right, let's get out of here, man.
Okay, that's what's gonna happen.
With that said, I'll see you back here next
Pray my strength in the Lord.
We'll see you back here next week.
We see you at same place, same October.
Same time.
Where Prince keeps it real
Yeah.
and the purple rain is chill
Hey, God loves it.
and we out.
Pretty good. Off the cuff, yeah. Off the cuff, off the cuff, yeah. It's off the cuff, 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 yeah. It's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, yeah.
This is God ordained. Get in position, cause we on a mission, fulfilling this vision, releasing contention in this God we praise. The one who keeps us from falling, receiving this faultless. Who that man is awesome. You see, it's every day we celebrate. Right now it's time for us to elevate. So get your hands up, cause Hosanna's great. And see, they call it off the cuff because we tailor-made.
Off the cuff, yeah.